Holy shit, we got renewed for a second episode.
Oh man, I'm so glad. I was so worried.
The fucking pilot got picked up. We're renewed for a new season.
Are we renewed or are we renewed like naked again?
I like RE-NUDE.
Well, I showed up nude, so I got the wrong message.
It's your house. You can do whatever the fuck you want, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you. If you listened to the first episode, thank you. If you're just now discovering Ice Cream Sunday,
What the fuck is taking you so long?
Again, what is taking you so long? This is the third fucking episode, technically, with the unaired pilot that somehow got aired. But thank you so much for supporting what we do. If you like what you hear on this episode, please check us out. Facebook.com/AaronAustinDave. Twitter.com, you can follow us at AaronAustinDave. And every single episode of the podcast is available at SoundCloud.com/AaronAustinDave. We're also on iTunes, and we're attempting to get our music. Fucking music. Sorry.
I mean, we do sing in some of the episodes.
Nah, it's a fucking
I
Connex
play a
thing.
mad harmonica. Actually, I don't.
Oh,
That
I was
was
like,
awesome.
really?
I was like, I can see you in fucking Blues Traveler. Jesus.
I was thinking more like Blues Brothers.
That would be awesome as well. No, but we put this podcast out here to entertain, inform, try to bring a little lightheartedness to your day if you're listening at work like we probably are. This episode is probably the most serious podcast we're ever going to do. I'm scared to be a father, and then we basically just talked about that for an hour.
And we gave Austin lots of bad advice.
Aaron has a 9-year-old. David has a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Yes.
All daughters. I'm having a son due in April. Probably going to show up in the next few weeks, I would guess, because he's fucking huge already. So we talked about just my fears of being a father, the fears you guys had as fathers, and a lot of really good advice, a lot of really good stories, and kind of gave me a little bit of peace of mind of being a father.
Please listen.
Please listen to our podcast.
One of us.
One of us.
Oh, I thought we were
So without further ado, please enjoy the Sum of All Fears, My Fears, episode 2 of the Ice Cream Sunday podcast.
Subscribe.
I am scared shitless to be a father.
You should be.
Well, both of you guys have kids. Was it scary having your first child? Was it nerve-wracking?
All the above. No,
Were you and your wife already married before you had your first kid?
Yes, we were, but not the traditional way. Not like you're supposed to do. You know, get married and kind of, you know, we didn't get married the traditional way. Let's just leave it.
What exactly is the traditional way?
In a church, white dress, everybody's dressed up, father's side there, mother's side, you know, the traditional way, the way it's supposed to be done. We got married in an apartment.
Nice.
In my dad's apartment, in his shitty apartment.
Was that in Des Moines?
West Des Moines.
West Des Moines.
Wearing shorts and matching American Chopper shirts. So.
Yes. Interesting. Are you guys bikers?
No, not at all. No, absolutely. But yeah, the whole kid thing. Yeah, it's definitely, you're never prepared.
I wasn't prepared, and I think part of that is, Kaylee and I are not married. I knew her about a month before I found out she was pregnant. If I did the math correctly, I got her pregnant the first time we slept together. Yeah. We met online through an online dating site called OkCupid. So yeah,
Damn.
It was not a one night stand. We've been sleeping together and essentially dating. But then we started really getting serious after we found out she was pregnant for obvious reasons. But, yeah, everything's worked out for the best. I can't really think of anybody that I've been with in the past that would be as good of a mother as I anticipate Kaylee being. So, I think it's all going to work out. It's just scary because, anyone that knows me knows that I've said 100 times that I never wanted kids. It was never, in my plan. I don't know if it's because I didn't think I would be a good father or I just didn't want to be a father, but I just never anticipated having kids. And I know you have two, so.
I do.
Were you and your wife married before you had your first child?
I proposed to her when she was 8 months pregnant.
There you go. My man.
Nice.
In our future daughter's bedroom.
How long was it after your first daughter was born that you guys got married?
She was a year old when we got married.
Okay. So
She was the flower girl.
okay. So right about a year after being engaged and you guys got married. Does that come out right?
About a year and a couple months. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. I don't know. I just
What's your biggest fear being a dad?
not knowing
Not knowing
what to do. I just I don't have any. I'm the oldest of technically three. I grew up with my biological half brother and half sister on my mom's side, and my brother is just really really gay and and like flamboyantly gay, but I love him. And my sister. My sister and I don't really have a relationship, but I don't really see her having kids, anyway. So I never had any nieces or nephews, anything like that. I only have one first cousin, I think she's 12 or 13 right now. So like, I've never really been around toddlers or kids. I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to raising children. I don't know how to feed a bottle to a baby. I don't know how to, I don't know how to change diapers. So I just anticipate being bad at all of this.
You will.
Just right out the gate.
That's all right.
So
It'll come natural.
Well, at least you have a YouTube.
well, yeah.
Because when I was raising the girls, that was not really a thing at that point in time. So yeah, I didn't have any reference points to go be like, how do I feed a baby a bottle?
Well, speaking of YouTube, Kaylee made me watch a birthing video. So I just saw a massive head come out of a super tight vagina. And then we watched two of them in the same night. And now every YouTube recommendation is either pro wrestling or birthing videos.
Or a mixture of both.
Super, super eclectic mix. I guess my biggest fear is just not really knowing what to do. I never wanted to be a father. It was never an ambition of mine. And not to get like super personal, but I didn't really grow up with, my grandfather was a great role model, a great father figure. I grew up with my grandparents, but I never really had like a positive male role model, like a father figure type. So, I guess I don't know how to really develop a parenting style just because, my grandfather was more like, my grandfather was less of like a grandfather to me and more like, I don't know, like Dumbledore to Harry Potter. Like he was more of a mentor. Like
So there were light gay undertones.
yeah, that too. Sure. But
Did he turn into a phoenix?
I wish that would be amazing. But no, just died and we buried him. But he
Nothing else.
he was more like a mentor. Like he had two kids and then he got divorced. Met my step grandmother, who was the grandma I grew up with. They had another kid and he was just the best father to them. My mom, had to give up her kids to her biological parents or put them in foster care. So my grandparents raised, my brother and my sister and I. And he was more like a mentor, than a grandfather. And so as far as having like that father figure that I could go and play catch with, or that he would go to all my football or basketball games and like the stereotypical stuff that you would think of, as a grandfather or a father figure should do. I didn't really have that. He was, much older and then, started to be in declining health, as I started to get through high school and definitely through college. I think he was on oxygen the entire time I was in college and then, passed away. Let's see, August, September, October, November, 3 months after I graduated college. So I didn't really have that, and then he broke his ankle and, basically walked with a limp and wasn't able to get around as well as he could have, in his 30s. Like when my grandma and him got married, he broke his ankle like the week or the month after that. And so I never really had that like very active father figure, that I would like to be.
Well, I don't think that really matters. I mean, my father wasn't like a traditional father. I've never played catch with my dad. He's never gone to any of my sporting events because I've never had any. But, I didn't really base anything that I use when I'm raising my kids off of what my father did.
Yeah.
How did you develop your parenting style? Was there someone that you saw or someone that was in your life that you said, they're a good parent, I would like to pattern what I do after them? Or does it just come naturally like people say it does?
I think it was a mixture of the way my mother raised me and also just figuring stuff out on my own. I really don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about because I don't have an active memory of basing anything off of anything anybody ever taught me or told me. I knew how to clean after a diaper because I had changed diapers from other family members that had children and whatnot. But, it's not as hard as you think it's going to be, but at the same time, it's also insanely harder than you think it's going to be.
I think the hardest thing for me was when they're young, they can't tell you what's wrong with them.
Sure.
They cry and you don't know if they're hungry or if they're, they don't. Well, you can tell if they shit themselves, but they just can't tell you what's wrong. So it's kind of.
I guess my fear is just like I said, not knowing what to do, and then we have our birthing class, and in the birthing class, the first thing that I wrote down about what do you want to learn in this class is basically everything. They asked what your biggest fear is, and I was like,
everything.
Being alone with the kid, because then it's 100% my responsibility, and I don't know anything. I don't know how to give a bottle to a baby. I don't know how to change a diaper. So just really scared about the whole process, to be completely honest.
What do they teach in birthing classes like you see on the movies where it's the
Well, that's Lamaze class.
That's what we're in, is Lamaze class. But they actually don't teach you those breathing techniques, and they really just teach whatever breathing is right for you, whatever keeps you calm, whatever keeps your breathing consistent, and then you have control over during the most painful contractions, during the transition period between the first part of labor and going through the transition, and then when you're actually delivering the baby. Just keeping those breathing patterns consistent. So it's not really a pattern or what you see in the movies. They talk a little bit about how to set up your birthing room. They use like exercise balls and things like that, and massages and essential oils just to relax the mother. So it's just a lot of stuff that I didn't know. A lot of the risks involved in pregnancy, in birthing as well. When to induce if you are thinking about doing that versus, full term. When a C-section would be required, just a lot of different things, in that birthing class. And I'm having a lot more fun with it than I thought I would.
Yeah. I
thought it would be boring. I thought it was this, 2-hour obligation that I have to make every Sunday, but it's actually turned out to be a pretty interesting time.
It's a good start. You're doing things like that. I don't think my parents ever went to anything that they were supposed to like that. You're supposed to learn how to breathe, and it's a good start.
I have a question about your Lamaze class. Did they make you role play being pregnant?
They give you the option to role play being pregnant, and I haven't done it yet.
I was not given the option.
We're three classes in out of I think we do 5 or 6, and there is the option to wear the vest that makes you feel like you're pregnant.
I didn't wear a vest, but they had us switch places for like you're not being taught breathing, but we're being taught breathing techniques and then pushing techniques.
I don't know if we're gonna do that yet. We haven't even got to like the breathing techniques and the pushing techniques. Really, like the first classes that we've had have been just how to set up your room, how to stay calm. We're taking a tour of the facility that Kaylee's going to give birth in downtown. So we've done all of that, but we haven't really actually talked about the birthing process. It's a lot of, it's more like a class. It's like a textbook material, about like, this is what the placenta looks like. This is the definition of a contraction, what it looks like, what it physically looks like, and what it feels like. And so we talked a lot about that, but we haven't actually talked about the day, like when she's actually giving birth and what that's going to be like for her, what that's going to be like for me. And the thing I like about the Lamaze class is they do talk a lot about what the partner will be feeling, what the husbands and the boyfriends and what they'll be feeling when their woman is giving birth. And it's scary and exciting, and I'm just...
So where's she plan on going?
Downtown, Mercy downtown.
That's
she wanted to go to Westlakes. She liked that facility a little bit better, but she is a high risk pregnancy, and I'm not sure if that's because of her size or whatever, but she has to give birth downtown because of that high risk pregnancy, and I'm pretty sure that our baby, no matter what, even if it's the healthiest baby ever, still has to go to the NICU because of that high risk pregnancy. So, like I said, it's nerve wracking and exciting, but I'm just excited to go through the process, and I'm sure you guys can attest the most exciting part is actually getting to meet your child, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Before we get off the subject of the Lamaze class real quick, I just wanted to tell you, when we were doing our role playing, they had the male, or the partner, because there was female couples too, sit in the place of the wife. The wife would sit behind the husband, boyfriend, whatever, and do the breathing and then push. And so they're telling us how you're supposed to push when you're giving birth, and so they're having the partners do it so they have an idea of how it's going to go. And so they're like, okay, now push. And I go to do the pushing thing, and I just rip the longest fucking fart ever.
Magnificent. That is cool.
And the birthing instructor's like, this guy, he knows exactly what he's doing. I was like, thanks. I'm going to go hide in the corner now.
Like day one, they were like, yeah, your girl's probably going to shit herself during delivery.
That never happened for me. Neither one of my daughters had a bowel movement involved.
Yeah.
No poo babies.
And mine was done. She had a C-section, emergency C-section. Yeah, section. So there was never anything like that. I just walked into a room, and as soon as they opened the double doors, she was split open like fucking Thanksgiving turkey. It was crazy. But
how did you guys prepare yourself? How did you get ready to be first-time fathers?
Saved a lot of money.
I had hardly shit saved, and I wasn't prepared at all. I was in the middle of working and got a phone call that she was going in, and just dropped my tools and was out the door. But
how did you prepare for those 9 months after you find out that she's pregnant, and then preparing? How was that time? Because I know I've been trying to save money. I've increased my contribution to my 401k. Like I'm so worried about the financials. But then between the time I found out she was pregnant and her delivery, I've got a promotion at work and I've got another raise at work. So the financial part of it has decreased, my fear of that. And now it's just, my fear is more on just me being a father.
When I found out she was pregnant, I drank a lot those 9 months. I just, seriously, out of nowhere. I mean, not out of fear or anything. I just drank a lot, and then it just seemed like as it got closer, it was just game time, and just step it up.
My girlfriend at the time forced me to go out to the bar once a week.
She forced you to go to the bar?
She was like, you're going out with your friends, you go drink because you're not going to be able to do it after the baby's born.
I've been trying to rack up on as much sleep as possible, but
you're not prepared.
Kaylee snores worse than anyone I've ever met in my 27 years of life. So when she sleeps really well, I don't sleep at all, which is fine. She needs to sleep more than I do. She definitely needs to rest more than I do. But so I haven't really been getting a whole lot of sleep. But we've been we've been trying to, someone told us, it's actually Joe, at work, who doesn't have any kids, but he's been around enough kids. He says, he gave us the idea, and we didn't even really think about it, to start buying diapers now.
Damn right.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time you go to the
Yes,
store and get groceries, just buy a box of diapers so you have them.
We did start doing that, and that is amazing advice.
Because you're going to think you have a lot of diapers,
Damn
and
right.
you're not going to have a lot of diapers.
And you're going to be like, what size do I buy? Well, you're going to need all sizes. So, and start looking for coupons. Big thing. And it sounds crazy, but it will save you some money.
Man, the generosity of others has been the biggest thing to me. Like, after your friends and your family find out that you are with child, they start giving you all of the shit they don't want anymore, and it's awesome. We were sitting last weekend in the living room going through all of the clothes that Kingston, my son, has already, and it was like 4 totes full of clothes. And, little baby outfits don't take up a whole lot of space. So that's a lot of clothes, between newborn and 24 months that we already have.
I mean, I got some pretty dresses you could have.
Pretty dresses?
Yeah.
Yeah. She has a lot of friends that have had kids in the last 2 years, and the majority of them have been boys. So,
Nice.
honestly, we have a lot of unisex toys and that sort of thing, but there's so many boys' clothes. We got a crib and a changing table for free from a friend of Kaylee's. So just the generosity of others, just to get a lot of things for free. Already has been great.
Do you have a stroller yet?
We do not, but I think we're getting one for our baby shower, which is already a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
And we set it up the baby shower to where it would be 1 month before her due date. So now that we're getting closer to the baby shower, we're getting closer to her due date. And it's just, it's getting a little real. It's always been real. Ever since we saw the first ultrasound and found out that we were having a boy later on. But now it's starting to get to the point where it's very, very real. Very exciting, of course, but the nerves are starting to set in. I've been told so many times by so many people that when you're there and she delivers the baby and you find out that it's healthy and you cut the umbilical cord, and when you're just standing there, there's a feeling that comes over you, and I don't know if it's a release of hormones or what it is, but so many people have told me that, like, you just get it. You just understand how to be a father in that moment. It all just comes to you, and it all just completely changes your life when you see your child for the first time. Is that true? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty spot on. I mean, you just know. I mean, you look at something, you're like, whoa.
You're going to cry, dude.
You will cry.
Of course.
It happens. Even the strongest of criers, like, I never cry, but I got in the car to leave the hospital to go home and take a shower, and I'm just blasting the most ridiculous soft music I can find. I'm going through a school zone. I see all these school kids getting on the bus, and I'm just like, I just start blubbering like a damn baby to myself, and it's just, you will cry.
I would consider myself like an emotional person to begin with. So, when I saw the first ultrasound pictures, like, I got emotional then. I broke down in tears when I found out that we were having a boy. Not that I didn't want a girl. A girl would have been fine, but
I would have had more advice.
Yeah. But I wanted a boy. If I had a kid at all, I definitely wanted a boy. So I was excited for that. But I don't know. I'm just excited for the experience. Like I said, I never anticipated having children. I never really wanted kids, but now that it's getting closer to it happening, like, couldn't be happier. I think when you get to like 25, 26, 27, you have like not a midlife crisis, but like a little, for me anyway, it was, I'm now this old, and I'm not working in the industry, or, I'm not using my journalism and broadcasting degrees to their fullest extent. I'm not using them at all. I didn't need to spend all this money at college to work this job. So even though I was happy with the position I was in my career, it still felt like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I have no goals outside of work, no ambitions. And in a weird way, when I found out Kaylee was pregnant, it was like, all right, this gives me something to look forward to. Like, this gives me something outside of work to put my energy into, and being the best father I can be when that time comes. And so, I'm just more It sounds really cheesy, but I'm just more excited to get up in the morning and more excited to go to work, make money, provide for my family, and I guess all the things that I'm supposed to do as a 27-year-old.
You can do that, but sometimes kids will make you refocus on your dreams a little bit more too, because you just want to do the best for them. So you're thinking, if I can go into something that not only do I love, but will make me a lot of money, you know, you can see how a profession maybe that you want to do and make you a lot more money, be able to take care of your kid better. Sometimes it gives you that little extra boost you need.
I just am looking forward to all of those, all the stories I'll have from having kids and, all of those shared experiences with my child. Going back to, you know, the focusing on your goals and your kids make you focus on your goals. This is kind of off topic, but with the podcast, I had all these goals when I started because I was working at a shitty job that I didn't want to be in. And I always had these dreams of like, I'm going to fucking take this podcast, make it the biggest thing ever, and become a goddamn celebrity with the podcast. And now I still have those goals. That would be awesome if I was able to make money, quit my job, and this be my day job. Right. That would be great. But I'm in a position where I really like my job. I really like where I'm at in my relationships and in my personal life. And now I can just do this podcast and just have it be fun. And if it ends up being something bigger, and something that I can quit my job, and, you know, that's the pipe dream anyway, is to, make this the biggest thing ever and be able to quit my day job and do this full time. That would be great. But it's not like the do or die, like, fuck, I hope this works, because I really hate working at Nelnet Incorporated. But it's
not where he works.
Well, back then. But I didn't like working there. I didn't want to be there. And so I put everything I had into the podcast because I was like, God, I hope this works and I can get the fuck out of Lincoln, Nebraska. I guess my biggest thing is I'm having a son. What was it like raising a daughter? Obviously you're both not women. So was it awkward? Was it different raising the opposite sex?
Well, I don't know. I don't really have anything to base it off of. So, you know, I've never raised, well, I guess Jenny had a son. So, yeah. It was a little bit different. Cleanup's quite a bit different.
Yeah.
You know, because you got, you know, cleaning a penis, in my opinion, is much easier than cleaning a vagina.
Sure. Since you have one.
Both.
Since you have both.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be hard for you. Yeah. You just don't have to lift the
learning
ball
curve.
sack back on this one.
You got to be careful they don't piss in your face with the boys, and of course,
true.
Usually just cover it with the diaper when you're first pulling them off. I had, you know, 2 nephews, and so you had to do, and then they just like to piss everywhere.
It's like a fire hose.
Yeah, once they realize they can just, you know, put it whatever direction it's going, then yeah.
I think it'll be fun the first time your son pukes in your mouth. That's an amazing
fun
thing to happen. You know, I was holding Natalie up, and I was like, "Oh, you're so cute." She was just like, bleh, and it was like, oh. I was like,
"That's fun."
Never had that, but
it happened right in my mouth.
You have the nasty formula throw up.
Oh yeah. It's just like it's like I spit up.
Fantastic.
I guess. What are some of the cherished memories that you have with your parents or aunts, uncles, you know, adult figures when you were kids that, you know, you want to pass on or have passed on and been able to do with your children?
I don't know, maybe some type of traditions that we do at Christmas, the same thing that we do. Not really. We always had a tradition where we do our Christmas on like Christmas Eve. I've passed that down to my kid. Really, aside from that, nothing else. I mean, everything else was never really... Shit, there's nothing I want to pass down from my parents.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
What are some of the cherished memories, or do you have stories about your children that are special to you that you'll take with you to your grave?
I think probably the first time my daughter said "fuck," I was surprised. We were at my mom's and frisbee or something had gotten thrown on the roof, and we ran around the backside of the house, and I was instantly there, and it just came out of my mouth, and she was with me, and she heard it and repeated me, and it was the first time, and like, no, that's your freebie.
Yeah, right. Isabel was about a year old, and her and Natalie were playing in the living room of my apartment at the time. And Isabel took a toy from her sister and walked over to me with the biggest smile on her face, super happy. And Natalie comes up behind her and goes, "Isabel, give me the goddamn toy back." And I just went, "What?"
I was angry.
She was
That's
like,
a violent child.
She was like, "I had nothing." I was
She
like,
really
"Did
wanted
you
that
say
toy."
that?" Oh, it was funny as shit.
She just wanted
That's gonna be the hardest thing is when your kid does something you know is wrong, but it's fucking hilarious.
That is. You're like, I would not act like that in the, in the outside world or the real world, but then your kid does it and they don't give a fuck. They just don't give a fuck.
So you got to be the reprimanding parent while trying not to laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
On the topic of not giving a fuck, is there any time that your kid has embarrassed you?
Oh, without a doubt. You're in the store and there's something that they want, but not, she's not overly bare and throw herself on the ground type of tantrum, but something that they want when they're young, and then they start crying, and you're trying to calm them down, and maybe you just put your hand on their shoulder, or maybe you put your hand on their shoulder a little bit too hard, and then they'll scream in the middle of the store, "No, you're hurting my arm," and then people look at you like you're a fucking child abuser because you just grabbed your kid's arm. But
See, I don't worry
that
about
happened.
things
That
like
happened
that.
one time.
See, Natalie likes to throw herself on the ground now.
Oh shit!
But and she's 9, and she'll like grab a hold of my hand, be holding my hand while she does it. So I just keep walking. I'll drag her ass to the store. I don't care. People look at me funny. I'm like, hey, it's her deal, not mine.
Yeah, after a while, you don't give a shit. But when it first happened, I'm like, I'm not over here beating my kid, but she's making it seem like it's a lot more crazy because she wants that toy. And
Well, I think most people realize that that's what's going on too.
Right.
Especially anybody that has kids. You get the looks from certain people that are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're treating their kid like that." And then you get the looks from the parents that are like, "Been there."
right, it's like a sense that embarrassment goes out the window after a while.
Yeah, you'll
When
stop being embarrassed.
Like when they shit up their back and it blows out their diaper, and you're at a restaurant or something. Yeah, it's all that embarrassment's out the window.
you will develop what word am I looking for? An immunity to being embarrassed by shit.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you guys did, or any hobbies that you had, any interests that you had, that you had to give up when you had kids? And on the flip side of that, was there anything that you weren't interested in before you had kids that now is become part of your daily lives?
I never gave a shit about cartoons. I mean, I did when I was a kid, but prior to that, I mean, the whole, the time I stopped being a teenager to the time I had my kid, I didn't know no damn cartoons or nothing. Then I didn't give a shit. And now it was like, once I had her, it was Caillou and all these other Sesame Street and all that. It starts with that and goes on. And now you hear shit that you never ever think that you would be involved in. And I get on YouTube as well, and it comes up with all these recommendations of these
Minecraft.
Minecraft or
Minecraft.
My Little Ponies. And you got these kids sitting there watching it. It's insane.
Dude, my YouTube feed is full of Minecraft videos and a 35-year-old woman playing with toys.
Making money at it. That's a crazy
yeah,
thing.
it's stupid. I mean, why? I didn't get on the YouTube train 10 years ago.
Explain this channel.
So, I can't remember what it's called because I don't care. But she literally has like these Shopkins and My Little Ponies and Disney princess toys, and she fucking does a puppet show sort of thing where she's playing with the toys and giving them voices, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna go make some cookies today. Let's go over to the oven." And I'm like, this is gonna make me blow my fucking brains out.
Literally. And kids sit there and watch this
Oh,
shit for
love it.
hours.
Love it.
Watching people just play with fucking toys because they've lost all sense of imagination with the way shit is nowadays.
This might be the episode, like the perfect opportunity to play a song I found. I was trying to find a theme song, trying to find the Ice Cream Truck song for the theme song to this podcast, Ice Cream Sunday. And I found a song by the Mother Goose Club called Ice Cream Song, and it is the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard. I first found it while I was under the influence, and so it made it even better.
Under the influence of
We'll find the song and we'll play it at the end of the podcast. So, but it is the most ridiculous song, and not a fear of mine, but definitely something I'm not looking forward to is like Sesame Street and
No,
Dora the
you don't really have to worry about
Explorer
Sesame
and-
Street. Sesame Street's dead, dude.
Yeah, that shit's
My kids have never watched Sesame Street.
it's going away. It really has in the last 10, 15 years. It's just the popularity.
But they do like the Muppets.
I like the Muppets.
Muppets are making a comeback. They got a show on.
Did you see the movie with Jason Segel?
I haven't yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I've seen the TV show though.
I didn't see the new TV show.
It's good. They did a drum battle between Animal and Dave Grohl. It was amazing.
Animal win?
Yes.
Of course he did.
Yes.
I think that's what's kind of cool about the way the Muppets have gone now is it's addressing things that are popular with the people that grew up watching it as more than the kids. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to see a whole lot of fucking Hannah Montana, whatever the fuck her real name is. Or
I've never understood this generation or maybe the past generation of kids like right before this that grew up with like Hannah Montana and That's So Raven and all that, because like when I grew up it was shows like Smart Guy and your all you had to do was believe that a kid could be that smart, that young, and go to high school, which actually fucking exists in our world. But now you have to believe that Hannah Montana is a country singer that tries to live a normal life and wears a disguise to be Hannah Montana. And it's all about, like, being a celebrity with an internet show like iCarly. It's all about, like, being a celebrity or being a musician. And I just wish there were more shows on TV for my child in 2016 that just shows normal family life, like Boy Meets World or
that's why you have
Sister or
Netflix
shows that I grew up with. Of course. Have you guys watched Girl Meets World?
No,
I have not yet. Been meaning to. Just
I was never into Boy
I've
Meets
heard
World,
it
so
Really?
I loved Boy Meets World. It's great.
It's a great show.
sorry.
I was watching it was on reruns, but I can't find the rerun. Is that a Netflix thing?
Girl Meets World.
I know Girl Meets World's on there, but
Boy Meets World is not.
no. Okay.
I found a torrent of every episode. It's great. That's all we did on our I took a trip as a professional wrestler in October to North Dakota, and in the midst of recording podcasts in the car and having conversations about the business, it was a lot of watching Boy Meets World and Batman the Animated Series. So
Well, I mean,
Another great
Batman
show.
the Animated Series is amazing.
That was an amazing.
Did you ever
cartoon.
see Batman Mask of the Phantasm?
yes,
That was an
have it.
amazing movie.
yeah,
I've seen it.
It's a movie based off the animated series, so you have the same voice actors and the same
Okay.
characters, and Mark Hamill is the Joker,
Yes.
which gets me hard all day long.
as a kid, I couldn't figure out why I liked, besides the fact that it's Batman, I couldn't figure out, something just felt different about Batman the Animated Series versus other cartoons, and it wasn't until I listened to Kevin Smith's Batman on Batman that I learned that animation cartoons back then were drawn on white construction paper or white backgrounds, and Batman the Animated Series, because this mostly takes place at nighttime, was made on a black background with the colors on top of that, and it just gave it a different feel, made it look different.
Well, the premise of the series is way darker too.
Sure. I think it was Paul Dini who was talking about that, who helped write on Batman the Animated Series and created the Harley Quinn character, was talking about how different that show was. But yeah, I just wish there were better shows on television for my kids. Phineas and Ferb is really the only show for kids that I've found that I can sit through.
Have you watched Adventure Time?
Yeah,
Don't you dare say a bad thing about fucking Adventure Time.
I can't get into it.
I love it so much.
I like Adventure Time, and I think if I gave it a shot, I could get into it. But
you need to play more D&D, dude.
yeah, it's fine. It felt like the first time I tried to watch SpongeBob SquarePants as an adult, where it's like there's just too much going on. The show's really busy, and I don't understand how to keep up with all of it. And that's the same way I feel about SpongeBob. Is
I hate SpongeBob.
I've been subjected to way too much SpongeBob.
it's I don't know if it should be surprising, but it is surprising to me that SpongeBob is still on the air.
Yeah.
Show
Still
came
making
on
new
when
episodes.
I was
Yeah.
12, maybe?
Well, Dora the Explorer is still on there. It's been on just as long.
Yeah, Dora went through a makeover. Didn't she get older?
I heard.
Isn't she like a preteen?
I don't know. I've heard about it. I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah, she's like taller, slenderer.
Sexier.
Pregnant.
Pregnant. We're going to go explore pregnancy. Let's go, Boots. Should never knock this bitch up.
Says Swiper.
Oh, man. So, we were talking about watching videos online a little bit. So I saw there's this commercial that keeps playing on YouTube where it's this man of Indian descent who is trying concentrated THC for the first time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my.
And he's at this it's a commercial for a show of some sort. And he's talking to these people that are advocates of medical THC. And so he's like, I'm going to take 1/10 of a gram. Usually kids that have these cancers and stuff are prescribed a whole gram a day. So he takes 1/10 of a gram. And I'm pretty sure that this commercial is complete and utter bullshit because he is like walking around the woods all bright-eyed and looking around. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't THC, buddy.
Yeah. I fell into the trap of being very anti-drug when I was in like high school because I saw all those commercials and I was like, oh, if you smoke weed, you're a fucking loser.
Right.
And
And
your brains are fried eggs.
or your brains are fried eggs, or
Yep.
you lose all your bones, or your dog starts talking to you.
yeah, I remember those ones.
Like,
Those are great.
There was the one where
Sure,
like
right.
the guys were in the drive-through of a restaurant in their car and they were smoking and like one time they forget their money so they go to take off and run over a girl on a bike and I was like, that has never fucking happened.
listen, if you smoke weed and you lose all your bones, let me tell you, that wasn't weed. That was probably
Acid.
acid or
Something. That's
crystal
fucking
meth.
Harry Potter wizard spell.
PCP.
My other big complaint is the anti-cigarette commercials where there's a band practice in a garage and he has to get up from the drums every like 5 minutes and go smoke a cigarette. Why don't you smoke a fucking cigarette in the garage like a man?
Yeah, you're a fucking drummer.
You're a
Come
fucking
on.
musician.
Well, I don't think that's... You ever see the one where it's like the Joe Dirt looking guy and he's about this... He's like an inch tall.
Yes.
And he's
Yeah.
like, it's time to go outside. And he grabs the guy by the collar and is like dragging the dude across the floor. And I was like, I have never felt like that with a cigarette ever in my life.
You're trying to quit cigarettes.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going all right. So at the beginning of this whole shindig, it took me 3 days to smoke a pack of cigarettes, which is a lot better because I went from smoking 20 a day to about 9. Today's the exception. I've smoked about 6 cigarettes already today. So,
A little stressed out?
not necessarily. It's just
What made
sometimes
you
it's easier. Sometimes I'm not. What?
What made you start smoking and why do you smoke? What triggers it now? Is it just
I started smoking because my wife smoked. We were going through some issues, which my whole relationship with her was plagued with. One of the things she would talk about was how we didn't get to spend a lot of time together because we worked opposite shifts, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, she smokes. This is a stupid fucking reason, by the way. She smokes, and she spends about 15 minutes outside when she smokes. So if I start smoking, that's 15 more minutes that we get together every time she goes out and smokes. So that's why I started smoking. Now I just smoke because it's a habit. And also, I smoke when I'm bored. I smoke a lot when I'm bored.
That is horrible.
I know.
That is horrible.
It is a bad fucking reason.
I started for a lot of wrong reasons. Also, I smoked for 13 years, and it was because all the kids I hung out with smoked, and you just kind of want to, fit in. And then this really hot chick started smoking, and I turned 18, and they were all underage. And she's like, "Oh, you can buy cigarettes now." Like, as a matter of fact, I can. And then I just kept smoking.
I never smoked cigarettes, but I have, alternative addictions. I feel like eating cheeseburgers is very similar to smoking cigarettes. Not that I go outside like 3 times a day and eat a
Got a stash
cheeseburger.
of cheeseburgers
But,
in his trunk.
I guess I eat when I'm bored.
That's not that uncommon.
Yeah, it sucks. I eat when I'm bored. I think that's my big addiction. I always said, like, well, I don't smoke cigarettes, so, clearly I'm healthy. But then I'm shoving fucking cheeseburgers and milkshakes down my throat. So that's one of the things I'm trying to get better at. Is
milkshake the other day. It was delicious.
I had a milkshake yesterday for my birthday, and I went to Zombie Burger for lunch.
I went to Fong's for dinner last night.
I saw that. I saw pictures. Fong's is great.
Shamrock shakes are back.
I know. No, so Shamrock Shakes are back, right? And I went to Burger King, and they have a mint shake right now too, but it's like an Oreo mint shake. It's fucking horrible. It is not good. I don't know why there's giant chunks of Oreo in my shake, because it just makes it harder to drink. And the mint flavor is so weak. Like, the lady hands me the shake through the drive-thru window, and I'm looking at it, and then, like, the picture on the menu is green. Right. The milkshake I have is white. I'm like, is this? And she's like, yeah, it's the mint one. I was like, maybe a thin mint shake.
That sucks.
That'd be bomb.
Thin mint? I think somebody... It was Dairy Queen or somebody that had that for a short amount of time.
Can we all agree that Burger King's burgers are fucking garbage?
No.
You like Burger King's burgers?
I like them better than McDonald's.
Bam.
McDonald's
right there. I fucking hate McDonald's.
I can't agree.
No?
I can't agree.
I think it's that whole flame broil.
Yeah.
Actually tastes
I feel like you
might
get
be
more for
meat.
your money at Burger King than you do at McDonald's.
Really?
I think it was a day that I was at McDonald's and I bit into one of the burgers and you could see the fillers in there and it was just like, what the fuck? And you chew it and it tasted more not like meat. And yeah.
Plus, Burger King's chicken fingers are amazing.
The chicken fries?
Yeah.
Those things are awesome. I had them not too long ago for the first time.
Did you get the
and then
spicy
I was in
ones? The
love.
spicy ones are amazing.
No, I didn't know they had.
Jalapeno chicken fries?
I think, is jalapeno or just...
They have spicy ones, but they have new ones that are jalapenos chicken
maybe.
fries.
Oh, I did get those. Those are really good too. But you add jalapenos to anything, and it's like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm
Except
dating
for
a Mexican.
sex. Do not add jalapenos to sex.
I'm dating a Mexican.
wouldn't recommend
It's
that.
it's certainly a possibility.
Baby, you eat those jalapenos and suck my dick. Oh, God.
Does she make good Mexican food?
Of course she does.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say it like that, because you're Asian. You can't cook a fucking Asian dish to save your life.
Or what about that? How are your chopstick skills?
Yeah, how
fucking
are
terrible.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
I had to teach you how to use chopsticks.
I'm still bad. We went to Pho 888, a restaurant here in Des Moines. Tried to use chopsticks and to eat pho. Fuck it. Nah, I used a fork and I twirled that shit up like it was pasta.
Well, it kind of is pasta.
Fucking every time my father and I go out to eat, because he is an immigrant from Laos. He moved here when he was like 16 or 17, and he has this look of disgust every time we go out to eat. Because, like, he brings his own chopsticks with him. Like,
Wow.
fucking beautiful ceramic chopsticks.
Wow.
And I don't know how to use chopsticks.
That'd be cool.
I can't speak Lao. I don't even fucking really look that Asian. I just feel like he looks at me with super judgmental eyes every time that we go anywhere in public.
So if we teach you how to hone your chopstick skills, then maybe your father will look at you in a new light.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like, you know how, like, the stereotype is that Asian parents are very, very strict and
Right.
don't come out of your room until you're a doctor.
Yeah.
I feel like my father would be fine as long as I just learn how to, I don't need to get my doctorate in anything. I just have to learn how to use chopsticks, and he'll be like, yeah, I'm very proud of you. My brothers, Brandon and Connor, they're my half brothers on my dad's side. They're very Americanized as well, but they, their mom, Manila, is an immigrant. She's half Laotian, half Chinese. So they are full-blooded Asian, and both their parents were immigrants to this country. So at least they fucking look the part.
Yeah.
I look white, and I just got a great fucking tan. Either that or I look more Hispanic than Asian.
I go Hawaiian.
Hawaiian? I thought I was Hawaiian for the longest time, before I found out that I was Laotian. And that wasn't until I was like 16 or 17. I finally got curious when I was like a junior in high school about my heritage, and just, I don't know, I saw, probably on the internet, I just saw a Chinese dude and I was like, I can see it. And then for a few years I was Chinese, and then someone showed me like a Hawaiian, I think it was BJ Penn, the MMA athlete, and I was like, that's a little closer. I bet I'm Hawaiian. And I just fucking legitimately just guessed. And then there was an old teacher that was a teacher at the high school I went to back when my father went there, and she kept telling me stories about my dad and the kind of, really good athlete he was and really good student, and started talking to me about like how him and my mom met. Showed me pictures from like the yearbook of my father and his amazing like late 80s mullet. Fucking Asian dudes with mullets is the best. But yeah, and then so I learned more and more about him. And then when I was 17, the lady that he lived with, he came over from Laos after the Vietnam War. It was something that Governor Ray put in place to bring Southeast Asian people to the United States to live in Iowa. That's why there's such a high concentration of Laotian people in Des Moines, a high concentration of Laotian people in Minneapolis. Yeah, so Iowa was one of the first states to really open its borders to, or open its doors to Southeast Asian people after the Vietnam War. So he came over as part of that program, lived with a lady in my hometown that I had known forever. For some reason, she was always at all of my school functions, whether that would be cross-country meets or music concerts. So I thought that she was just a friend of the family. So I always kind of knew who she was, but didn't know why my family was so close to her. So when she passed away, I found out that that's who my father lived with. My grandparents never told me because they didn't want me to have a relationship with my father. My grandparents were very racist, so when my mom got pregnant with a fucking basically essentially a foreign exchange student, even though he came over here to live permanently, that's basically what it was. So when my mom got pregnant with his child, my grandparents were not happy. My father ended up moving to Des Moines, but always came back to visit Mrs. Summers, who lived literally right down the street from me. So at any time, my father was within 100, 150 yards of me for 17 years. But I never met him. But anyway, so at her visitation, her funeral visitation, the night before her funeral, my father was there. The teacher that I've been talking to try to find information about my father was there. She called me, called my grandfather, said, "Hey, Austin's father, Com, is, at the funeral home. Would he like to meet him?" So I met my father as we stood over the dead body of the lady that he used to live with. So a really awkward first meeting.
Wow.
Then we had a very, very brief relationship when I was in high school. His wife was the one that wanted us to get together, and have a relationship. He got divorced right after I started going to college. So I lost contact with him between like age 18 and age 26. Then when I moved back to Des Moines, my brother Brandon, who's like 17 now, he got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, do you want to have lunch? Do you care if Dad comes along?" And we've had a pretty solid relationship ever since. It's more like a kind of a big brother, because I'm fucking 27 years old now. It's not like he's gonna be a father figure and
right.
You fucking go to your room. But, we have lunch together. He helped me, move a couch into my apartment. And what's funny is he's actually a new father as well. His girlfriend gave birth to my new sister in February, just last month. So, my kid's youngest aunt is a month older than he is. So my father's still kicking out kids. I'm kicking out kids. It's a very fertile family, you guys. But, yeah, that's the crazy relationship that I have with my father.
That is insane.
Yeah. And my relationship with my mother, that I'm sure I'll get into multiple times, throughout the life of this podcast. Very similar situation. I stopped living with her when I was 4. She moved out of the state when I was 6, and we had more of she's my big sister relationship than my mom. But, and I guess going back to parenting style that we talked about earlier and how that developed, I guess my grandparents, would really be the only role models I have when it comes to, what I want to parent, like taking things I learned from them and then taking things from other mentors that I had and trying to Mr. Feeney, trying to
Mr. Feeney.
Yeah. What's funny, Mr. Feeney never had kids. Probably the best father in that show. Talking about Boy Meets World.
I know
Show that you fucking hate, I guess.
I never said I hated it. I said I never watched it, and that's not entirely true. I just never watched it regularly.
What were shows that you watched when you were growing up? Dragon Ball?
No.
You never
I
watched Dragon
didn't
Ball?
watch Dragon Ball until I was a teenager.
Yeah, that shit was way past. Cause
I didn't start watching Dragon Ball until I was
Were you talking
25.
about cartoons or
Just
TV
shows in
shows?
general.
Family Matters,
all the-
Fresh Prince.
I keep forgetting
Full House.
You're just that little bit older than me to where like Fresh Prince is something that you would watch when you were a kid.
Sorry.
Because I really didn't. Like I didn't watch
Tom
it
and
until I was-
Jerry and the Flintstones.
Ninja Turtles when they
Ninja
were
Turtles.
the original
was
Ninja
big
Turtles.
when I was a kid.
Yeah,
You're
Ninja Turtles,
32
Transformers,
right now.
33. I'll be 34 in May, you son of a bitch.
And you're
33. I'll be 34 in September.
Jesus.
What
Just
other
a baby.
shows? Here's the fun one: is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
I watched that.
Watched that when I was a kid.
G.I. Joe.
Loved it. Watched it as an adult. Watched 5 minutes of it. Turned it off. Looked at my cousin and go, "Why am I not gay?"
I was the same way with Thundercats. Like when Thundercats when it actually came out.
Did you ever
was
watch
huge
the reboot?
No,
It was amazing.
was it? I'd turn it on, and when I got older and I watched, I'm like, what the fuck did I see?
Oh
in
yeah,
this?
you
But
should
then-
never watch cartoons you liked as,
Right.
as an '80s kid, because when you watch them as an adult, they are fucking horrible.
I had all the action figures, and I was just obsessed when I was a kid with Thundercats.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
fucking great.
Even as a late 80s, early 90s kid. Like I tried to watch Power Rangers as
Yep.
an adult. It's impossible.
Watched the first episode of Power Rangers about 3 months ago. I was like, you know what, I'm going to work through this catalog. I remember watching the show, liked it as a young teenager.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode and I was like, well, I'm good. And I'm not going to watch this anymore. And this cord is in a horrible place.
I know. The first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie still holds up a little bit.
It does not.
I think a little bit, maybe.
Disagree.
It's. I don't know.
The computer animation in those movies is shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not the effects, but just like that's a lot easier to sit through than the TV show is.
Yes, without a doubt.
But no. The robots look better in the TV show.
I think when they went crazy and did all the now with what they've got and what they've like branched out into the different types of power, they've just watered it down. And now that you're fucking
Did you see that there's a new movie coming out?
Yeah, I saw that. A new
I
Mighty
wish.
Morphin Power
Did
Rangers
you
movie.
see the fan-made movie? It was all the original Power Rangers as an adult, and they're all like all fucked up and shit.
It's amazing.
And like one of them's going around killing the rest of them. No, Aaron, you need to watch this. It is
I'll have to check
fucking amazing.
wasn't there one of them that just got arrested for murdering somebody?
Yeah, he was like the 4th or 5th Red Ranger. I mean,
Okay.
he doesn't matter.
All right.
He's one of those Rangers that nobody remembers.
They still got what the
He killed somebody with
the
a
Green
sword.
Ranger going around. Yeah, that was.
one of the Red Rangers.
Yeah. Not like the first two, but like the series after the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I wouldn't have known who it was.
I don't know. I used to have a Megazord toy. Thing was
Yeah.
sick. Loved that.
When Comic-Con came to Des Moines last year, I was really excited because it said that there were some
Tommy the Green Ranger was there.
yeah, but there were some other Power Rangers there as well. And then it was like, yeah, but they're from Power Rangers Dragon Force, and I was like, man,
Yeah, that's what.
I don't even know.
Dragon
I don't even
Force?
know if that's a series like the
I-
Dragon
yeah.
Force or fucking
I wonder if there's a
Stunt.
Power Rangers porn.
Power Rangers Thunder Jizz. Or,
Thunder Jizz. That's perfect. It's morphin' time. Give me a second.
all right, we are at 56 minutes for this episode, so I'm gonna shut it down. Is there any advice that you would have for new parents that that you wish you would have known when you were having your first kid?
Dave.
It's not as scary as it seems. You're going to be nervous. It's like any new thing. You're going to be nervous. It's like being on the phones at work for the first time. You're going to be nervous for the first couple of times, and then you just fall into it. I was surprised at how easily I got acclimated to being a parent.
Yeah, it's just you're never prepared. You cannot be enough prepared, but by diapers and things like that you've been given that advice. Take that because you'll never be prepared. But be ready to do a lot of laundry.
Oh my God. My kids are at my house 3 days a week, I do a shitload of laundry once a week.
Well, Kaylee works at Victoria Cleaners.
Oh.
So we get all of our laundry for free.
Oh, you awesome.
Yeah, it's the
She got a
best.
sister?
No, she does not. She has a brother.
She has a really effeminate brother?
Nah.
Damn it!
He's gangster as fuck.
Oh, not interested, sorry.
I love Derek. D-Rec.
I only like my dudes if they pretend they have a vagina.
All right. That's probably a good place to shut it down.
Ice cream song. Ooh, vanilla.
Chocolate.
Strawberry. We love ice cream. Get a scoop of that. Get a scoop of that.